So as the title says, this is every mod I use in 2025 in Cities Skylines 1 as of the latest game version. And I mean every single little mod, so we have quite a few. And just a quick disclaimer, I have these mods enabled all at once and they work fine for me, but remember to always make backup before you start to mess up with your mods. Majority are up to date, but given time period since game release, which is like, I don't know, 10 years, some might be no longer supported and required extra caution, especially if you have any other mods that are out of my list. 81 tiles, so basically this mod allows you to unlock the whole map apart from usual 25 tiles. You can skip paying for unlocking altogether and start right away with full map. Works amazing with custom maps. Absolute essential, no need to talk about it more, just be mindful that unlocking 81 tiles may lag your game a little. Another old goodie mod that helps with rendering objects from afar. Not going to talk much about it since its functions are part of newer mod, which is Prop Control. I personally don't like the interface of new mods, so I use the old stuff. This one adds a small tab next to your building of choice, allow you to change its level and most importantly toggle abandonment or collapse. It also has few useful settings in mod options. And this is just a small functionality mod, allows you to choose a specific stop at bigger public transport stations. Okay, Bob helps you to change props and trees globally or on the lots. I use it to change greenery around the whole map and to change trees on vanilla lots since they really crash with custom trees. Perhaps you can do more with that, but these two options are already a lot. Building Control adds small panel whenever you choose a building to place. It's mostly related to the terrain, so whether you want to flatten the area around or blend it nicely by changing the terrain type or even place on the water. Camera movement mode gives slight difference in how camera moves around, makes it more smooth, so you can set the inertia point. I lower it sometimes to make my game less jumpy. Chirpy Exterminator. As the title says, this mod deletes Chirpy, which for me is super annoying. You will get pop-up windows like end of college year, etc. But most of the stuff you will have to keep an eye on yourself. Cinematic Camera Extended. It's, as the name suggests, a cinematic camera record tool that's in opposite to inbuilt cinematic mode, which is very random. It gives you control over what you record. As you can see, I choose points, change speed, decide to keep simulation on or not. You can save your project, which is helpful if you want, for example, record before and afters or your city transitions. This mod just changes the tiny detail, which is the height of curves. It's nice for recording or driving in first-person mode, or if you simply love to watch your sims very up close and you are crazy about realism. Custom Animation Loader is just an essential mod required for some custom assets and mods. This mod opens the panel where you can modify some numbers, but to be honest I found it overlapping a bit with Rico and I mostly use it for real gas station mod, more about it later. Probably could be helpful when using custom asset buildings as they are sometimes unbalanced, or simply if you want to play some unusual scenarios. Daylight Classic has just a few switches which helps with orangeness, yellowness of vanilla game. I have whole video about graphic settings, each mod I use and what they do, that I will skip the full explanation now. This mod is outdated, but still good, so if you don't want to go crazy with your graphic but still want to change something small, this is a mod you can use. Dynamic resolution, again, graphic mode, it has a shortcut that opens the panel where you can quickly change the resolution of your game. It's a really nice tool, you have to be careful about FPS though. I use it mostly for cinematic shots where I want the crispiness, and on average I use about 200%. Okay, so if you have shit ton of mods and assets like me, you need this one. It adds more details to errors that pop up and also allow you to turn off any error exceptions notification totally. This is an old mod again, but such a classic, not sure whether it's even supported anymore. It adds a panel where you can edit terrain in a bit more controlled or crazy manner than as in vanilla. It also serves as a brush for trees and allow to change ground color and resources that you use. I know I overused the word essential, but Find It is another essential mod, because by using it you can easily search for assets, which if you download a lot of custom assets, it's hella helpful. I use it all the time when building, and I cover it in detail in my no zoning building video, which should pop up somewhere here. I recommend you to check out all the references because Harmony, just a mod dependency thingy that you need to get when using different mods. Hide It has a big panel of things you can click off or click on. Change it. As far as I know, it only changes the aesthetic and not functionality. For example, you can change whether polluted water or ground is visible, but it doesn't mean it won't be polluted anymore. So it's helpful for aesthetic. This is another mod that I cover in detail in one of my previous videos. I don't even remember which one, so I highly recommend you to just check out the playlist I made with all mod related videos. It gives you a ton of functions when it comes to public transport, although I think that some of these functions have been implemented in vanilla throughout the years, so it might be less needed right now, but still worth checking out. I've been just using it for years, so I don't even know what's in the vanilla anymore. This is purely aesthetic mod, which lets you draw the lines, crosswalks on any intersection, road, roundabout, exactly as you wish. There's a lot of options, there are plenty of tutorials and ideas what you can do here on the YouTube. As you can expect, this adds tons of realism to your game. This is a simulation-related mod which helps to, as the name suggests, balance the population. It has a lot of options, but I only use default ones, and I really noticed the change. It needs to balance itself out, and after that, no longer any death waves and weird stuff. Line tool, so building related mod which I already mentioned before. It helps you to draw with props, fences, trees, like with a network, plus adds options regarding spacement, angles, etc. Loading screen mod revisited. This is a well-known tool. It changes loading screen so it comes with extra info about how many assets you have, RAM usage, etc. It also generates report in HTML, so you can easily unsub to duplicated, broken, outdated assets. It shows you assets that have a lot of triangles, and that might be heavy on your FPS. I use it to fix lagging cities, and I often use the option to load the game with only assets I use. Again, let me say that, absolutely essential mod that I don't even know what to talk about. Allows you to move stuff around off grid. It also has few useful options, but as a staple you can use it if you want to advance from zoning building on the grid. This is a building mod which removes any restriction related to placing roads, so you don't have to worry with angles, heights, etc. You can change the type of road that you place. For example, you want to have immediately tunnel or stick to the ground, etc. And again, roads. So this time, tons of options regarding your networks. Again, covered in detail in my other videos. It fixes the road you already have, allow you to place roads that have perfectly curved roads that are perfectly connected together. It even generates more advanced structures like loops on the highway intersections. You can also place perfectly shaped roundabout just to name a few. It despawns vanilla citizens if you have any custom models enabled. I use it so I can use better, more realistic models in my cities. No controller will be mostly for people who want more control over each intersection, so really detail-oriented mayors out there. Apart from simple options like adding functional crossings or delete nodes very close to each other, you can, with few clicks, fix any intersection that looks rough, messed up. Also has few options for people who are crazy about details. So this is a simple mod that works with some custom parking networks where you have to place parking slots manually. It's super annoying. With this mod it snaps easily to the grid of the network and helps to make it more even. This is just a mod required for basically majority of other mods. Precision engineering, very simple, adds few options that help you to make better angles. To be honest, I only use it so I can see the units whenever I casually build with roads, especially when using network anarchy and moving the road up so my angles and slopes look nice. Prefab Hook, just another utility mod for dependency. Oh my god, this is mod that is used for crazy projects. It allows you to modify building by enlarging them, changing height, textures, colors. You can even change its shapes completely, delete or add whole floors. It can be overwhelming, but I use it sometimes for simple things like fields when I want unusual shapes or when custom asset buildings are badly scaled, meaning they are too small or too big comparing to vanilla ones. This is an old mod that I think has been replaced with more complex ones, I think even Prop Control I mentioned before, but I love it for simplicity. With only clicking Shift plus P, you can place your props freely around the map without any collision error. Real gas station adds ability to have functional gas stations in your city which require deliver fuel to work. Depending on the asset you use, cars will stop by and fill their tanks. I use it on more advanced cities when I have got industrial network developed. There are tutorials on how to set it up because it's a little bit tricky, so don't just download it and enable it and complain that it doesn't work. Realistic population is kinda similar to rebalanced population, but this time it does not focus on sims but on buildings. So whenever you enter the building using Rico, next one I will cover, you can see the realistic population button which I have ticked off. The game will more or less calculate how big the building is and based on that set the amount of people that will work or live here. And so Rico basically gives you this panel with more options regarding each building. This is what I already mentioned, but since realistic population only focus on rebalancing the amount of people, it also lets you customize type of buildings, how much it costs, how many workers people are there obviously, but it also has cool options in mod menu. Rebalanced Industries is just a simulation mod that tunes everything connected to industry, including cargo load, truck spawns, warehouses, capacities, etc. You can play around and tune it or just leave it as it is, which is what I usually do. It really helps with traffic, changes the amount of truck spawns and prevents almost empty trains from clogging your railway network. This is a graphic mod which has many options regarding textures, rendering, level of detail of textures. I think Lumina is more up to date, but I got accustomed to interface of this one and I spent a lot of time to, set it up. So therefore I would recommend you to get the newer mod, but again I'm still clinging to the old one. It's super simple, allows you to quickly change color of buildings. It's only one color though, so you can change roof and walls separately as in opposite to Procedural Object, but it still adds diversity if you like me, like to reuse models and it looks repetitive if they are exactly the same. is a simple tool that allows you to change the size of scrollable panels, useful if you have lots of stuff and you want to see them and not scroll for like 10 minutes to find something. Roundabout Builder gives you ability to just press Ctrl and O to change intersection to roundabout. You can choose radius, it's pretty simple and quick. Network Multitool has similar options, so I barely use. This is just a graphic mod that adds slight changes to the shadows. Again, simple little mod that allows you to use the same stop for your public transport vehicle. So for example, bus from several lines can share the one stop, or you can combine tram stop with bus stop, etc. Speed slider modifies again the speed of the game and also how fast you can move your camera, if it makes sense. I'm not sure how much does it affect simulation though, but it helps with lag, low or just helps you to choose the speed of the game that is fine with you. Surface Painter, I think it's kind of a plug to extra landscaping tools, but correct me if I'm wrong. And it allows you to use like a brush to paint on the ground with various types of textures. Oh my god, this is a massive one. And absolute staple that fixes anything related to traffic, increases realism tenfold, helps with stupid vanilla AI, which got better in updates, but still help to set up perfect roundabouts and just do everything that helps you to avoid traffic and make it more realistic and nicer, and I love it. I've only used this one recently, but it controls your money expenditure in budget tab. You can set buffer values in percentage to which the mod has to stick to, and it manages everything just fine. It really helps to save money, especially at the beginning. Okay, so newer version of this mod is called Play It, I think, so I'm obligated to recommend you the updated mod. But still, I clinch to this one. It's simple, it just basically have very basic time-related options, sun position, simple weather tab, so you can, for example, stop rain if it bothers you when buildings. Detail allows you to change the distance of which the various objects in the game will be rendered. Here you can see the examples of trees. And to simplify this, if you want your city to be beautiful and ultra detailed, you would have to max those settings out, which will kill most of the PCs, so feel free to copy my values for like average plus look. Okay, so we are heading close to the end and I'm rambling, but can't yap much about this one. Yes, you just click Ctrl Z and it undo stuff. Surprisingly, what is even that word? We don't have that in vanilla. Unified UI, just a tool to organize your mods in one place so they aren't like spread around randomly. Don't love it or hate it, I only have few of the mods put there. This mod, as the name suggests, increases massively the amount of trees you can have without hitting the limit. Essential if you use big maps which are already pre-filled with greenery, but trees are very heavy on your FPSs. This is a pretty powerful mod, helps you to gain few extra FPS. You also have a GPU cooldown and FPS limiter options, which I don't use but might be helpful for you. Before I finish off this video, I use all of the in-game mods or rather options. Unlimited soil, because why not? Unlimited oil and ore definitely sounds like cheating, but I find natural resources in this game vanish extremely quickly comparing to, real life. I also use the unlock all, so technically unlimited milestone. So this is my collection, guys. Not sure is it a lot or not that bad. I have my PC specs in the description, although I'm be upgrading my PC soon to play City Skylines 2 finally. So let me know in your comments what would you add to the list. Hope it was helpful. So if you want more, check out this video about 15 must-have mods that are my absolute essential, or this video which serves as a mini tutorial on mods that help you build like literally. Link to the playlist with all mod related videos I made is in the beginning of description. So this is all. Thank you and bye!